right. Bianca Stubler in lane 3, also contending, but a very strong field here.
Kemi Adekoya from Bahrain is in the lead. She's a 400-meter world indoor champion from 2016, as well as running fourth in the 400-meter hurdles in the 2023 World Championships. Addis Ababa Grand Prix winner, and she's going to fight for this. She ran a 400-meter flat of 50.28, and now the battle is between Amelie Yule, the meeting record holder, as well as Kemi Adekoya from Nigeria. And it looks like Amelie Yule has successfully defended her title.
Absolutely, and has the world leading time here, the world's fastest time so far in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic. Newell from Denmark winning this race of Adekoya of Bahrain. Very, very tight competition at the end there. Quite pleased with the event, Newell.
Amelie Yule from Norway lowering the meeting record to 54.12.
Yes, her coach John Edgar told me yesterday she was ready to run fast again. She loves Kenya, competing here in Kenya. So Adekoya there looking a bit pleased with her second place effort. The Bahrainian.
I think she looks disappointed, actually. I think she was going to go hard, but Amelie was in PB shape and therefore was able to lower the meeting record.
Yes, and the crowd here in Nairobi loving it. The recap here, all the athletes started off well. Adekoya had the first the lead there with Newell tracing her, but Newell at about 200 meters started moving ahead with a stumble by Adekoya there, and Newell pulling away in the last 50 meters, winning this race in the fastest time in the world so far. The Norwegian showing her class here, the Kipkeino Classic. And there are the results. Newell from Norway, Adekoya in second, and Kokit, the Belgian, in third. So world leading time here in the meet, equaling a meet record here by the first two athletes in this event.
Amelie Yule from Norway actually lowers her personal best as well. And she seems to like this Kipkeino Classic meeting.
Yes.
Because she does her best work here.
I know, she keeps on turning up to compete here. And that's the lineup for the men's javelin throw, featuring Kenya's former world champion Julius Yego, and the South African Smith taking his attempt now. Strong effort, over 80 meters there, quite pleased with that. The South African.
The South African threw 81.19 in his second attempt. Du Smith from South Africa. Thomas Roller.
Thomas Roller is former world champion here with a personal best of 93 meters. The 34-year-old German coming up to Kenya here. Throwing really, really far here, above past 80 meters again. Pleased with that effort. Thomas Roller, the former world champion.
Olympic champion back in 2016,
Certainly.
and still in the kind of form to throw above 80, to throw past 80 meters.
I know some of these field event throwers, you know, are very consistent, you know, in their event, you know, lasting many years. In his mid-30s, competing at this young guys as like the Sri Lankan here, the 23-year-old, Patira age. Also above 80 meters, the Sri Lankan. You know, the Asians are now really excelling in this javelin throw, you know, winning medals at the major championships now. You know, the Indians, the Sri Lankans are really rising to the top.
That's right. A lot of it inspired by Neeraj Chopra. This is a confirmation of the results. Rumesh Tharang Pathiraji from Sri Lanka managed to throw 89.28, which is a new meeting record. He's taken the meeting record from Herman Timothy. He didn't manage to go past his world lead, but that was a fabulous, fabulous attempt in Nairobi.
Yes, and this is the women's recap of the women's 1500 meters here earlier. An East African contingent racing against each other here, and the pacemakers went off quite strongly. the target time of 4 minutes, and the pacemakers went after that as the main contenders kind of, dropped back and faded out. But Cherop pulled away at the very end, coming strong to win this women's 1500 meters of the Kipkeino Classic in 4 minutes 7 seconds, 48 seconds here by, little off the pace, but a strong performance by Cherop, Miriam Cherop of Kenya.
Miriam Cherop winning this event for the first time. She's been doing very well in the local circuit, and it's good to see her bring her best form to such a big international event such as the Kipkeino Classic.
Yeah, she truly showed her class in the last 300 meters, pulling away from the field. Very, very strong performance there by the young Kenyan, Miriam Cherop, winning in 4:08. Appreciating the crowd there. A strong event in the middle distance events, which, gives, the Kipkeino Classic gives them a chance to do so over the Ethiopians, Cherop, and the Ethiopian second and third. As the Kipkeino Classic 7th edition here gets underway, there's a welcome and the unveiling of the athletes to the track.
And the first athlete that we will be introducing this evening in the 100-meter women event is Aoko Owako Lillian Diana, representing Kenya. Representing the USA. Millicent Doro, 40 years of age, but nothing seems to be stopping her. Shantae Klinkskill representing the USA. Defending champion Maya McCoy representing the USA, formerly of Liberia. Samira Killebrew, also representing the USA. Cambria Sturgis, representing the USA. And a real fan favorite, Gabriel Thomas, Gabby Thomas, representing the USA.
Yes, what a strong field here for the women's 100 meters in Nairobi. And Gabby Thomas coming from strong win in Addis Ababa last weekend, back on the blocks again. I spoke to her earlier. She's quite keen to get her season started with some strong performances early in the season here. So, yeah, very much in the limelight here.
That's right. That was a -4 headwind that she ran into in Addis Ababa, and she'll be looking to lower her personal best. In lane number 1, Lillian Diana Aoko Owako representing Kenya. Personal best and season's best of 11.83. She's dipped below 12 for the first time this year. Maya McCoy, defending champion. It's going to be a tough one against Gabrielle Thomas, but she's here to bring her best stuff.
Yeah, McCoy and Sturgis, Thomas and Rainier, Americans competed last week. Yeah, so they're happy to be back in competing against East Africa, against some of the best in the world.
Millicent Doro, Gabriel Thomas, and Cambria Sturgis will be doubling today, doing both the 1 and the 200.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hope we sign it.
As they get on their blocks, the women's 100 meters here in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic. Thomas, favorite in the 200 meters, a strong event. Only run 11 seconds. There's 2 of her competitors run under 11 seconds, a bit faster than her, but she's quite strong at the very end. So look out for a strong finish.
And they're off cleanly. Gabriel Thomas moving straight to the lead, looking like a battle between Cambria, Maya McCoy, and Gabriel Thomas. But there was no question that it was going to be Gabriel Thomas to take the victory here at the 7th edition of the Kipkeino Classic with an unofficial time of 11.02. She did not manage to lower her personal best, but that's still a very, very good run here in Kenya.
Yes, indeed. Gabby Thomas, a very strong finisher coming off her strength of the 200, pulled away mid-race and accelerated away from a much faster compatriots from the USA. Very happy to compete in Nairobi. The winner of the women's 100 meters, Gabby Thomas, running 11.01, almost equaling her personal best of 11.00. Quite pleased with her effort there. Waving to the crowd, Gabby Thomas, the winner here. Wonderful performance by the American.
Gabriel Thomas, and she's not done yet, because like we said, later in the evening, she's going to be running the 200 meters. And this...
Off they start. Maya McCoy had a better start, but Gabby Thomas and Sturgis slowly pull away from her mid-race and maintain that. So Thomas, Sturgis, and McCoy, the top three here in Nairobi. What a competitive race that was between Thomas, Sturgis, and Mariah McCoy.
And the local interest, Millicent Doro, really wanted to attain the Commonwealth Games qualifying standard of 11.41, but she misses it yet again, running a time of 10.76.
11.76 by Millicent Doro nonetheless, but Americans 1-6 and then the Kenyans follow. But what a great competition that was, enhancing the status of this event here in Kenya. It's quite a big sprint destination where all the Americans are turning up. Sturgis and Thomas, the top two in this race.
Sturgis and Killebrew have that very, very strong drive phase, but in the end it was a top-end speed that Gabby Thomas comes with that won her today's 100 meters at the Kipkeino Classic 7th edition.
Yes, and McCoy finishing strongly in third in this, but Nairobi is a favorite. She was here last year and won the race. Yeah, she loves competing here in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic. And now these are the hammer throw event, which features Janae Casanavoid and Cameron Thomas from Canada, Cameron Rogers from Canada. Very, very strong competition here. But the Icelander on the rink throwing that.
73.88 in the third attempt.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive hammer throw event here. This field eventers were quite excited about competing here. Casanavoid has thrown here in Nairobi before, so she was keen to get back here and extend her wins, but
Rose
the competition
Loga from
was
France.
Yes.
Rose Loga from France, managing to throw a 75.19 in her sixth try. She saved the best for last. And she ends up getting a PB along with the Icelander, Gudrun, 75.19.
Thank you very much. Is going to be Mary Gibson from Kenya.
And here is the winning throw. This is a recap of the events that happened earlier in the day. Cameron Rogers, Olympic and world champion, on her sixth attempt.
Yeah, she already had her area record early in the season, so she's quite in good form. Look at that throw.
What a massive throw. And indeed, she also saved the best for last, because that's her sixth attempt. And we have a new meet record, courtesy of Cameron Rogers from Canada, as was expected, Martin.
Yes, Rogers has been in top form already this season, so she said she's coming to Nairobi to extend her great form. Casanavoid is a top thrower as well, but her passing her through, 80 meters here is a tremendous throw.
So we did have one throw above 80 meters. This is a confirmation of the results. Canada, Cameron Rogers in first place, Rose Loga from France in second, and Gudrun from Iceland in third.
Next is the men's 1500 meters. What an exciting event ahead of us here. We've got some of Kenya's top 1500 meter runners Timothy Cheruiyot, former world champion. Jonah Koech, the American, top American, former Kenyan. Absa Kipkeino, a world medalist. Renaud Cheruiyot, a medalist in Tokyo last year. But the biggest name here is Wanyonyi, who is a world and Olympic champion at 800, who's moving up to the 1500, wants to test his stamina and strength in this event. You know, it's early season, so it gives him a chance to, you know, without much pressure, test his strength amongst Kenya's top 1500-meter runners. Cheruiyot, Kipsang, Wanyonyi there, look at him, all set to go. No fear amongst the best in the world in this event, and looking to test his strength here.
Timothy Wanyonyi indeed plans to step up to the 1,500 meters at the LA 2028 Olympics. And this really, we are, as a nation, truly gifted, because this is a deep, deep, classy field.
Most certainly. Again, former world champion, Timothy Cheruiyot, bronze medalist in Tokyo, Renaud Cheruiyot, Brian Coman, Absa Kipkeino, Jonah Koech from the USA now. What a very strong early season field here in Nairobi.
Emmanuel Wanyonyi opens his season on the track here at the Kipkeino Classic 7th edition. Coman and Vincent Keter will also be pushing. Keter, Nairobi under-20 world champion, and they're off.
Yes, the race has started, and there's pacemakers there, but also the wave lights will guide the athletes on how fast they're going as their targets. The wave light technology, what a wonderful aid for pacing the athletes here, where the athletes just follow the lights ahead, but the pacers right on target, following the blue, and the other athletes on the green, following the green light. So they're right on pace for about 3:30, 3:31 seconds for the men's 1500 meters.
Munir Akbache is our first pacer, and he's been tasked to run 56, 57 laps till 800 meters. After that, Boaz Kipragud will take over till 1,100 meters. And the target that we're looking at today is a 153 at 800 meters and 221 at 1,000 meters. And hopefully, you know, we'll get a good time today here, Martin.
Yes, well, they're aiming for about 3:30, 3:31 seconds for the 1,500 meters. They're right on pace. You know, the pacemakers are keeping up with the lights, and the athletes behind them are also paying close attention to the lights. Absa Kipkeino, you know, the third pacemaker dropping off by a meter away from the pacemakers, but right on track here. But it looks going to be a tactical race, as the others are really, you know, just watching themselves, and of course paying close attention to Wanyonyi as the pacemaker, you know, slows down a bit. He's on the green now, and the pack goes on. Wanyonyi keeping close track. He's moving to the front of the pack. Wanyonyi with 2 laps to go. Wanyonyi, Olympic champion, a world champion, moving up distance, the 1,500 meters. The rest of the athletes paying close attention.
And Wanyonyi does the 800 meters in his sleep, figuratively speaking. And you would expect that if he decided to front run this race at this point in time, that he's not taking any chances and really wants this to be fast.
Well, indeed. Well, the other athletes, the typical 1,500-meter runners are watching Wanyonyi. They're paying attention to him, wanting to cover every move that he has. But Wanyonyi has way more speed than them, so they're all playing into his game. You know, he's a quick 800-meter runner, but he can also accelerate in the 1,500 meters because he feels this is a bit comfortable for him. And look at him, he's in the lead now with a lap to go, still controlling the pace as all the other 1,500-meter runners, you know, gather behind him and see who's going to make the first move.
Wanyonyi still in the lead when he takes the bell. Wanyonyi looking to push this. You remember at the Grand Slam track meet in Jamaica, Wanyonyi ran faster than Josh Kerr, Cole Hawker, and these are veteran 1,500-meter runners. But here, Renaud Cheruiyot decides to turn up the pressure.
And Wanyonyi is paying attention, still maintaining the lead. With 200 meters to go, Wanyonyi, the 800-meter champion, maintaining his pace. Cheruiyot in second, the Tokyo bronze medalist behind him. What a race it's turning out to be with 100 meters to go. Wanyonyi, the 800-meter gold medal from Tokyo, pulling ahead, very, very strong. The last 15 meters, all the way. Wanyonyi, and Wanyonyi pulls away to win the men's 1500 meters in 3:34. Very solid time here in Nairobi. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the Kipkeino Classic 1500 meters champion. Very pleased with that, beating the best in the world of the 1500 meters as the crowd appreciates him there.
And indeed,
what a solid performance.
Chariot happened to beat Wanyonyi at this Rio Classic 2-kilometer loop. Wanyonyi came fourth, and all the rest, Cube and Munguti, they were in this race. But it looks like Wanyonyi came here, upping his form and just getting ready to move up to the 1,500 meters.
That's right. You know, he's shown that this event is his future event. Look at him. He looks still very fresh, having run 3:34, but still able to jog fast in his victory lap, appreciating the crowd here. But what a strong performance it is by Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the Olympic 800-meter champion, in his first 1500 meter here, his first race of the season really, and showing really good strength here, winning the men's 1500 meters.
And he seemed to me to run a very measured race right from the beginning, but decided that he was not going to take any chances and therefore came into the lead. This was paced just right. Emmanuel Wanyonyi taking on the lead at the bell, in front of Reynald Chariot. Reynald Chariot tried to keep up, and he really does have that finishing kick, but it seems like the 800 meters Olympic and world champion, Diamond League winner, had more in his legs and could achieve this today.
Yes, with such a performance in the 1500 meters here, I wonder what the 800 is going to feel like for him going forward, because the 800 meters is his event, and no one has the kind of strength that Wanyonyi has, showing, you know, that kind of strength here as he appreciates the crowd in his victory lap, as the Kenyan band, you know, raise the sound to appreciate him. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the future of the men's 1500, as he's shown here.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to see if Wanyonyi would like to run the Commonwealth Games mile, because this edition, there's not going to be a 1,500 meters, and they pushed it up, of course, to 1609 meters.
So here are the results of the men's 1500 meters. Emmanuel Wanyonyi setting a personal best 3:34. Reynald Chariot in second, and Munguti in third. Kenyan sweep there of the men's 1500 meters at the Kipkeino Classic, an event that Kipkeino dominated in the late 60s, early 70s. Just goes to show you the depth, the inspiration he's had to many young Kenyan athletes here. Now to the women's long jump. Tobias about to take her jump. Tobias with her second jump of this competition. She jumped a 6.25 in her first try. Yes, the American has jumped 6.94 before, so yeah, she's quite keen on getting her season started here in Nairobi with some good jumps. Strong push off the boards, and yeah, pleased with that attempt. But yeah, the long jump has been a solid event here. Yeah, many young athletes coming from different parts of the world to come and compete here in Nairobi. Koala from Burundi. Marthe Koala from Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, my bad. Burkina Faso, the 32-year-old has jumped 690, ready to take on this attempt here. She has already done better than her season's best, which was 650 in her first try. She jumped 6.57 meters. In 2023 at the World Championship, she came in 7th place, and she's a 2022 Africa champion, as well as the Africa Games silver medalist. Yes, the long jump has athletes from 7 different countries around the world competing here alongside the Kenyan athletes as well. It gives them a real opportunity to compete against some of the best, as Koala has shown here. A really good attempt. close to 7 meters.
Her first attempt was 6.57 meters, and to my naked eye, I think that she may just have improved on that.
Yeah, that looked like an improved jump. She consults her coach on what to do next, or what she did at that jump. 6.57, her first attempt. Season's best so far.
Marta Koala now in the lead.
Yes, as Egyptian gets ready to take her attempt there. Really competitive athlete here, Owis. Jumped last week in Addis, had a strong performance there as well. The continental to bronze level.
She also jumped her PB at this meet last year. PB was a wind-aided 6.75.
As we move on to the next event, the women's 800 meters here in Nairobi. Career, strong performance, and Sheila Chepchirchir, 21-year-old here.
Sheila Chepchirchir will be pacing this race.
Getachew, the Ethiopian.
Coming fresh off a victory at the Addis Ababa Grand Prix.
And the world champion, Lilian Odira, making her inaugural start for the season. She won this event here, the Kipkeino Classic, last year, and that really propelled her to world championship status, and went on to win in Tokyo. So she's making her debut, a season debut here in Nairobi against the Ethiopians, Gebeyehu and Muhonja in lane 1, the Kenyan. So a strong field, but basically the story here is about Lilian Odira, our world champion, surprise world champion, one of the athletes that helped Kenya sweep all the middle and long distance medals in Tokyo, is back here in Nairobi competing for first time this year. So she's really keen to see what happens, and the race is on. Target time here is about 1:58 seconds. So the pacemaker, Naomi Correa, hitting the front to lead the athletes through 400 meters.
She's been tasked to run a 57.5 400 meters, and just like you said, we're targeting 1:58. Naomi Correa, I think, also has a point to prove. She hasn't been able to dip below 2 minutes this season, but Lilian Odira said that she's really not been training that hard at this point of the season. She doesn't want to peak too early, and should be preparing herself for the World Ultimate Games. So she has a longer season ahead of her, but looking to position herself right where she needs to be.
Yes, most certainly. She's has a different mindset as a world champion here. All eyes are on her, and she wants to make sure that she shows that maturity to win as she follows Naomi Correa, the pacemaker, in second, as Getachew in third. But Odira still showing her class, very, very composed, doing what she needs to do. She knows that the most important part of the race is yet to be as she passes the pacemaker who steps out, Naomi Correa. Still ahead of the pace, Odira, the two Ethiopians right next to her, waiting to pounce, but Odira, quite strong in the last 100 meters here. But literally, this is her first race, so we really don't know what to expect. But the Ethiopians paying close attention to Odira, with 150 meters to go. Getachew. Yeah, pushing along, but Odira is still holding him off. Odira holding him off the last 50 meters. It's gone to the second lane and third lane, but Odira fighting racing with Getachew. Getachew's moving quite ahead. Odira is in second in the first race of the season. 158, still not a bad performance, but the Ethiopian upstaging the world champion here in Nairobi. Getachew
having a wonderful season so far, fresh off the Addis Grand Prix victory. She is a 2025 World Indoor Silver medalist. So to me, it looks like this is and was a fourth in the World Indoor Championships this year. So she looks like she's just been maintaining that form.
Most definitely.
Odira just didn't have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, being that this was her first race of the season, it's not, you can only expect so much, but you don't have that competitive spirit in you to fight, somebody sprinting past you the last 15 meters. But nonetheless, the recap of the women's 800 meters, great start, great pacing by Naomi Korir in the first 400 meters. Odira hit the lead and was controlling the pace, but the Ethiopians paying close attention to her. Getachew, who's been fitter this season, really watching over her over the last 100 meters.
Haptam Gebeyehu is a world junior athlete. She's a junior athlete and just was hungry and went for it. But this is the point where Getachew Nigis from Ethiopia decided to make her mark at the Kipkeino Classic 800 meters. 7th edition.
Yes, nonetheless, the Ethiopians showing a good performance, but Odira, as you said, she wants to she started the season, this late because it's a long season. It will go on until mid-September, with the Commonwealth Games, in August. So there's a lot more to happen.
Here's a confirmation of the results. Getachew in first position with a season's best of 1:58.79, and so we had 4 athletes, including Naomi Korir, dipping below 2, which is fantastic. Interesting to note that Haptam Gebeyehu, who's in 3rd place, has actually already qualified had already made the qualifying standard for the World Under-20 Championships, and is looking like she's in very good form.
Yes, Ethiopian finishing 3rd in this event. She's quite pleased with that effort, under 2 minutes, which is a world-class time. As the long jumper gets a clearance for her jump there.
Yasmin Zerha Boreki from Turkey. And that's her 2nd jump. 6.21 meters. So she has improved upon her first attempt. When she jumped 6.11 meters, now 6.21 meters. Progressive, improved margin.
Yes, the long jump here continues to be quite competitive with athletes from different parts of the world. Tobias, again, the American, lining up for a 2nd attempt at the Kipkeino Classic long jump event.
Tiona Tobias is actually a heptathlete with a 6.94 personal best, jumping 6.67 in Addis Ababa just about a week ago. This is her 2nd attempt. Looks like a foul.
Yes.
I think she went over the board.
Yes, she did. Yeah. So that will not count.
So Tiana Tobias still only has 6.25 from her first attempt. She hasn't improved on that.
Yes, and she really crossed over the board there. So that mark will not count. As the weather continues to sparkle here tonight at the Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi for the 7th edition of the Kipkeino Classic. The field events continue to sizzle. Great conditions here, negative winds for the event here. So perfect jumping conditions as Koala approaches the second attempt.
Martha Koala, who is still in the lead from her first attempt at 6.57 meters.
Gets the clearance for that jump.
And she gets a clear. Looks like a marginal improvement to her first jump. Martha Koala from Burkina Faso, good on the board. And she jumped 6.61 meters. Still, this now becomes the new leading mark for the long jump, the women's competition.
The Egyptian, Awis, taking her second attempt, looking smooth, flying off that board, but it's a foul.
Ezra Awis from Egypt has not managed to get any valid jump so far. That was her second foul. She is the meeting record, no, she's not. She was a second, actually. Former meeting record holder that was taken by Campos Lissandra Mesia of Brazil last year. And here is the start list of the 200-meter men.
And what an event it looks out to be. The men's 200 meters here at Nairobi Kenya Kipkeino Classic. As the athletes get ready to be welcomed on the track with the Warriors. Ronald Koech of Kenya.
Sabila from Kenya, Chidi Okezi, a 400-meter specialist, but today running 200.
Mwai of Kenya.
Mwai rousing the crowd, representing Kenya. Claude Itongo Bogogni from Cameroon.
Kyrie King, the American, 2055 performer. And Dambile, the South African, the fastest in the season this year from South Africa. It's going to be a strong performer here. And the fastest so far, Brian Lavelle, a 1964 performer from Jamaica, making his way here. Once again, he did the under-20 championships a few years ago, and he's the headliner here. World bronze medalist from Tokyo, the fastest in the field in 1964.
Sinesifo Dambile from South Africa will be in lane 6. Brian Lavelle in lane 7. And that's who we're looking out for.
Yes, Dambile, the South African, has run the fastest this season. He's had a great start to his season, and Lavelle is really just getting his season started, being the fastest in the field, but very competitive. Okezi ran in Addis last weekend and placed third in the 200 meters, so he's another strong competitor here in this field.
Claude from Cameroon is also running his first 200 meters of this season and has been working on his endurance with several 400 meters.
And the Kenyan here, Koech, also will play a part in this very strong and competitive 200-meter event here, getting ready to start.
Koech in lane 1, Elkanah Sabile lane 2, Chidi Okezi lane 3, Claude Bogogni lane 4, Kyrie King lane 5, Sinesifiso lane 6, Brian Lavelle lane 7, and lane 8, Dennis Mwai.
As they get ready to get on the blocks, get ready for an exciting 200 meters here in the Kipkeino Classic Continental Tour Gold event in Nairobi, Kenya.
Courtney Lindsay holds the meeting record, the time of 19.71. It's significantly chilly tonight.
Yes, well, the temperatures have dropped here in Nairobi Nyayo Stadium. It's been cloudy, but no rain so far. But yeah, great conditions for top athletics here. And off they go, the men's 200 meters. Kyrie King taking the lead there. But Dambile in the inside, trying to make his way. Kyrie King.
And the battle now is between Brian Lavelle and Sinesifiso Dambile. Sinesifiso Dambile managing to hold on. He ran his PB of 19.97 and was a Tokyo semi-finalist, but looks like he wants to do much more and achieve much more this season.
Most certainly, Dambile winning that fantastic 200 meters in 19.79, fastest so far here. But what a race, a real competition between him and the Lavelle, the Jamaican, but Dambile, the South African, rises to the top, pulls away and wins that exciting 200 meters here.
Sinesifiso Dambile runs a new personal best. Formerly, his personal best was 19.97 until today. What an incredible showing from Sinesifiso Dambile, the new personal best.
Yes, and as the race unfolded, Dambile got a great start with his target there. The Jamaican on his outside, and already he was in the lead with 100 meters to go. Just maintained that pace as he pulled away slowly. He knows that, the Jamaican wasn't as fast as him in the last 50 meters, and he continues to pull away, winning in 1977. What an amazing race that was. One of the fastest in the world so far this year. The South African quite pleased with that, congratulates his competitor, the Jamaican, with the rest of the field as well, giving him props. They are very, very happy. Dambile, the South African, winning here in Nairobi in a very, very fast quality time there.
And there, the confirmation of the results. Sinesifiso Dambile runs a personal best. Brian Lavelle also dips below 20 in second place, and Claude Itongo Bogogni with 20.51. Interesting to note that Dennis Moy also ran a new personal best.
Yes, again, a quality competition between the top two in this event. The South African and the Jamaican, both running under 20 seconds here, which is world class at the Kipkeino Classic here. As the throwers get into the hammer cage in readiness of this competition, featuring a very, very strong field once again. Egyptian there, not pleased with his throw, but nonetheless a very first throw in his attempt. El Gamel, the Egyptian, not pleased with that throw, but given that it was his first attempt, a bit more adjustments to make in his attempt there, in his next attempt.
That was his first attempt and he fouled. Mustafa El Gamel of Egypt has a no throw.
Nicely coach from the Czech Republic. Another attempt there.
Vladimir Myslivčík from Czechia throws a 76.14.
That's what it is. Ethan Katzenberg, the Canadian, former champion here, a world champion, also making his attempt there.
And he's just missed the 80-meter mark, Ethan Katzenberg, with his first throw.
Yes, he was here 2 years ago and, dominated this event here and went on to win the World Championship. Still, he was still very young then. He was 22 years old, becoming a world champion there. But yeah, he always seems to make the Kipkeino Classic as his first early season attempt at the season here. So he always does well here. And now going on to the men's 400 meters, featuring a mix of champions from around the world, from the USA, Botswana, South Africa, Kenya, in these events.
And the crowds seem like an educated crowd here this Friday evening here at the Kipkeino Classic in Nairobi. And a lot interesting to see some of the discussions that the fans and spectators are having about the action. And there's a lot of it here at the 7th edition.
Yes, indeed. Lots of people turning up to watch some top quality athletics here in Nairobi. And, the interest has been quite amazing. So many people turning up late in the night here to watch some of the best athletes in the world compete against, the best Kenyans as well.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And now we move on to the men's 400 meters. What a quality field, featuring some of the fastest athletes in the world. Coming from Africa, we've got Samu Konga and Zakithi Nene of South Africa. Athletes who run under 44 seconds in this 400 meters here as well.
Kitumetse Matseo from Botswana in lane 8. George Mutinda, 400-meter national champion, running in lane 7. He has a personal best of 44.14 and a hand-timed 44.9 season's best. Zakithi Nene, meeting record holder. He was a 5th in the individual 400 meters at the Tokyo World Championships and a 4x400 bronze medalist in Tokyo. Muzala Samukonga in lane 4.
Fastest one in Africa right now, Samu Konga.
Mulongo Antonui, representing the local interests from Kenya. And in lane 1, Matthews Nortje from South Africa. He has a personal best of 45.05.
Well, the two fastest athletes in this race here, Samu Konga of Zambia and Zakithi Nene of South Africa, lining up here. Zakithi Nene making his season debut, but Samu Konga already has run 44.75, so top athlete in this particular race. As we get on the start.
Nairobi, a significant destination for Zakithi Nene, because it was here in 2025 that he ran his personal best. And as we wait to see how the stagger unwinds, Zakithi Nene looking very strong. Brian Foster as well decided that he was going to give it everything, because to compete against Muzala Samukonga and Zakithi Nene is no mean task. Zakithi Nene now clearly in the lead.
Zakithi Nene and Samu Konga in the lead. Samu Konga in the whites in lane 4. Now pulling ahead with Zakithi Nene. But Zakithi Nene is really putting pressure on him by Samu Konga. Coming close at the very end, but Zakithi Nene with a ballad end. Nene over Samu Konga. 44.52. What a fast time there is. Nene, the South African, holds off Samu Konga to win this men's 400 meters. But what a quality competition that was in the men's 400 meters. Nene, the South African, coming on top. Pleased with his effort there. First race of the season, and to break off the season, the 44.54 is quite impressive. Huh?
Dipping below 45. A very chilly Friday evening here in Nairobi.
Yes, the wind picking up, but Zakithi Nene from South Africa, 44.50 performer, happy with his effort here, taking the victory lap and waving to the crowd.
And we all remember Zakithi Nene charging up the 4x400 meter relay race in at the Tokyo World Championships, literally pushing Kebinashipi to the victory.
No, certainly, a great start to the season here as he hands over his bib number to the fans in the crowd. But as the race started, Nene and Samukonga got off to a great start. Easy 200 meters, looking quite easy, but the field trying to catch up with him. But Nene and Samukonga in lane 4 and 6, battling into the last 100 meters there. Looking at these athletes, very smooth, very controlled. Now pushing in the last 50 meters, giving their all, working very hard towards the finish, trying to find out who's going to be the victor. Nene pulling away with about half a meter over Samukonga of Zambia, winning that great 400 meters.
Kiti Nene's legs almost giving way, but he kept on pushing, held on to the victory, and to beat Muzala Samukonga into second place. We also had Kelvin Kiprotich Tonui, who really just went very, very hard, managing as well to dip below 45 and running a personal best.
Yes, most certainly. That was a fantastic race for the young Kenyan there, running 44.95 for third place, and Mutinda in fourth for Kenya there as well. But what a fantastic 400 meters that was here in the Nairobi Kipkeino Classic.
George Mutinda manages to qualify for the Commonwealth Games with that fantastic time. And we're back to the women's long jump. And that is a valid jump by Boreki from Turkey. And this is her third try. Yasmin Zera Boreki from Turkey managed to jump 6.21, which is her best jump so far. And her second jump was her best jump. And in her third jump, she manages to achieve 6.03 meters.
Tobias back on the boards again, making a great attempt, Francois. Looking back and seeing if that's worth it. Yes, it is a good one. Waiting for the mark.
Her best so far, her first jump, 6.25, fouled in her second. We'll be looking to improve on that. Good on the
Plenty
board.
on the board. Plenty of space on the board for her right there.
And she jumps 6.48. Marte Koala from Burkina Faso. Marte Koala still the event leader, managing a successful third jump.
Perfect on the board, right there. As she waits for the results, the women's long jump. We're back to the men's hammer.
Of Ukraine.
The atmosphere on the crowd gets louder and louder. Quite a loud atmosphere here at the Nyayo Stadium, the Kipkeino Classic here. The crowd really getting into it. As the athletes in the hammer throw event get back into the cage for their throws. Still quite competitive.
Misilvic of Czechia with his third attempt.
Again, another attempt, but closer to 80 meters. For the Czech Republic athlete. Didn't look too pleased with that, but nonetheless, here comes Ethan Katzenberg, the Canadian, trying to make a better attempt out of this cage by the Canadian. again, not past 80 meters. They're not very happy with this, their attempts here today. Katzenberg, the former world champion.
Ethan Kasbach actually manages to throw 82.43 in his second try, in his second throw. And that becomes the leader. He becomes the leader of the... He becomes a leader of the hammer throw men, relegating Mislevich and Mikhailo Kokin to second and third.
As the crowd's getting really excited about the events here at the Nyayo Stadium, waiting for more quality events. Athletes and the fans really excited about this. A really loud atmosphere here at the stadium, huh?
Yes, I think it's the waves that they are doing.
Yes, they are, yes.
The fans are doing the wave, and you know Kenyans.
Yes, they love the waves.
And those are some of the recreational runners that we have in Nairobi. I've managed to spot a few. And indeed, this is the highest profile international event. And as would be expected, they'd be here tonight.
Yes, that's right. The Kipkeino Classic continues to grow over the years in the 7th edition. Now, moving on to the next event, the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase. An event that's been associated with Kenyans, Kenyan success and dominance over the years. Kipkeino won this event in 1972 Olympics and has continued to spur, strong interest and great performance among the Kenyans. Kones and Kapkama there, the pacemakers slated for this event here. Slated to take the athletes through to about 8:15. Koech, Dodana, and Abraham Serem, one of the top athletes, with his younger brother, Serem, the two Serem brothers here, among the fastest. Serem. The younger Serem won a bronze medal in the Tokyo World Championship last year. Edmund Serem, at 17 years old, who's back here, starting out his season at the Kipkeino Classic 3,000 meter steeplechase here. And speaking to him and his father earlier today, and they were so excited to get started. The season started here in Nairobi, and they're very happy with how their training has gone, and willing to test their fitness against the strong lineup here in Nairobi.
Very good to see Amos Serem back after missing out on the whole 2025 season. And they're off. We've had such a dominance in this event as Kenya from 2010, 2016, all the way for a couple of years, and that changed with the likes of Morocco's El Bakali.
Yes, El Bakali is moved up to take up the dominant role, as well as the Ethiopians. The young Edmund Serem knows the challenge of bringing Kenya back to the top, and last year he won the bronze medal in the World Championships. At 17 years old, he's the future of the event, and so he's keen to bring success back to Kenya in this event.
And it's looking promising. Kapkama Ilaya is our pacemaker, first pacemaker, and he's been tasked to go through 1,000 meters in 2:45. And if we keep to pace, Martin, we're going to have a new meeting record because the pace is 8:15.
Yes, right now they're well ahead of the pace. As you can see, the wave lights, they're well ahead of the wave lights. The blue marks the pacemaker pace, and they're well ahead of it. They're about 20 meters ahead of it. So not a bad start, but nonetheless, they need to maintain that kind of pace to keep it going. This event has 7.5 laps and quite a number of barriers in it, so the real racing really hasn't started, so they'll definitely slow down, but like I said, the pacemaker Kapkama well ahead of the pace right now.
Running a bit ambitiously, but then you have Wilberforce Connors, a more experienced pacemaker in second.
Yes.
Looking to moderate the pace so far.
Yes, most definitely. Connors is quite an experienced pacemaker. He's well within the times, as you can see the blue light is close to him. Nonetheless, Amos Serem is right behind him, as well as the Ethiopian. Edmund Serem, given that this was his first race of the season, coming off an injury, he said he's going to take it easy, just see how the body feels, and make the move at the right time. But nonetheless, a good start for this men's 3,000 meter steeplechase field.
And indeed, like you said, Martin, we have two brothers competing here with 5 years between them. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to, how they decide to run towards the finish. But it looks like every man for themselves. Really.
That's right. That's right. And you see this 3,000 steeplechase features 4 barriers and 1 water jump. And the technique around the jumping of the barriers and the water jump ensures that you remain less fatigued or more fatigued depending on how you jump. So you can see the techniques that the athletes use is quite different. Some jump very unorthodox and some jump very smoothly. So it really helps in preserving energy for the athletes if you know how to jump efficiently.
Edmund Serem is an excellent hurdler, and the thing about him is that he also has that devastating finishing kick. And so if they remain in this pack at this time, then it will play to his advantage. Yes,
as the first pacemaker drops off, Kones, the second pacemaker, takes over, and he's a lot more smoother over the barriers as he takes the field off over the pacemaking duties. And they're a bit behind the wavelength time for the target pace, about 10-12 meters behind the wave lights. But nonetheless, it's still quite competitive. It's still early days in this event. With only 1.5 kilometers gone in. So.
And I guess, Martin, the question that some of these athletes have is, you want to win the race to win it, not necessarily to achieve a certain pace. And so they might decide that because this is a deep field, to hold their efforts for when it matters towards the finish.
Yeah, that's right. And being that this is an early season event, so it's not so much how fast you run, but how competitive you are, to be in the right position to win that matters really. We don't expect these athletes to be running world record times this early, but we just want to see how fast they can compete against the rest of the field. Yes, and it is indeed a very strong field.
Simon Quetch taking the lead, looking very, very calm and relaxed. He was the 7th at the Olympic Games and the Africa Games bronze medalist, as well as the under-20 Nairobi bronze medalist back in 2021. In this race, Amos Serem brought the house down to win. So a lot of these teammates are running against each other yet again. Some of the best that we have in Kenya and Ethiopia as well, representing the region.
Yeah, most of these athletes train together. So, now coming into competition, it doesn't matter, who your training mate was. It's, who gets to the finish line first. And as you can see, the pace has picked up. Simon Koech has taken the lead and increased the pace ahead of the Ethiopian. And Abraham Kibiwot, another strong performer from Kenya, in 3rd place, followed by another Ethiopian. Amos Serem, dropping back there in this field. But his brother Edmund Serem paying close attention to the lead group, the tall athletes there in the back of this pack.
Godana Gamechu is in 2nd position. The Ethiopian was 2nd in his national championships, behind Milkesa Fikadu, who is also in this race, following closely in 3rd.
Yes, quite a strong competition in the front too. Koech, the Kenyan, the Ethiopian in 2nd there, pulling away from the rest of the field, about 5 meters, 10 meters now. They continue to separate themselves with 2 laps to go in this men's 3,000 meter steeplechase.
With 2 laps to go, this is a vintage Simon Koech. This is really how we're used to seeing him run, just taking the lead and going for it. And at this critical time in the race, you don't want to get left behind.
Yes, that's right. You've got to take control as he has. You're not quite sure of the strength and the speed of the Ethiopian behind him, but he's going to make sure that he runs him out towards the end of the race.
Leonard Bet Kipkeino coming in 3rd now, positioning himself ahead of Milkesa Fikadu. This is his season opener. He was 4th at the 2023 World Championships and was a World Youth Champion back in 2017.
Yeah, so the race unfolding there strongly. The top 2 athletes here, Koech and the Ethiopian, Really pushing ahead with 1 lap to go. The Ethiopian looks around, looking actually quite comfortable. But can he make his move over the Kenyan here in the last lap?
Godana in a menacing second position, tucked in right behind Simon Kiprop Koech. But Simon Kiprop Koech looking very strong, and maybe he'll give the home crowd exactly what they came for.
Absolutely, with 300 meters to go, Koech, the Ethiopian there, really pushing ahead. Can he hold off the Ethiopian here at home in Kenya? They approach the second last barrier here. The Ethiopian also still tracking Koech towards the water jump. Will it come down to the sprint? Over the last water jump.
Simon Koech
Can he
first
take
to
it
go
off?
over the water jump.
Pulling away.
And now has to
Ethiopian still
push.
close by. Koech.
But
Will it come down to the last barrier? Ethiopia versus Kenya. And the Ethiopian comes ahead, but Koech tired for the effort, but the Ethiopian now pulls away really strongly. Left it to the last 50 meters to pull away, winning in 8:14.55, ahead of the target time.
Godana Gamechu disappointing the home crowd. He ran his personal best here last year at the Kipkeino Classic. Personal best of 8:31.
That was a big upset by the Ethiopians, winning the steeplechase over the Kenyans here in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic. But nonetheless, what a great race that was. The Ethiopian bided his time and waited to the last with Godana pulling away after the last barrier, winning the men's 3,000 steeplechase at 8:14.55. A solid world-class time here in Nairobi, as he gives thanks for that wonderful effort, men's steeplechase.
Gamechu Godana with a devastating finishing kick. He really just had enough fuel left in the tank to get this job done. And this is how the race started. We're going to review the 3,000 meters. And at the beginning, it was really just one pack until Simon Koech decided to make a break for it, and Godana Gamechu followed him. Milkesa Fikadu, national champion in Ethiopia, was third for a while until Beck decided to come for third position as well. Konis was our pacemaker for the second part, and he did a fairly good job. And it is at this point, the last barrier, Gamechu Godana hurdling comfortably, and Simon Koech didn't just have anything to give at this point of the race.
Well, he led most of the race. For the second half of the race, he hit the front and pushed the pace as hard as he could, resulting in that fast time for everyone. But Godana really just bided his time behind Koech and upstaged him with the last 15 meters. Yeah, nonetheless, both are quite pleased by their efforts, finishing 1-2 in a solid world-class time, 8:14.55 here in altitude in Nairobi. Quite a world-class time that was. But a disappointment for the Kenyans, losing the steeplechase here in Nairobi, beaten by the Ethiopian. But nonetheless, that's what competition is about. And the East Africans are quite competitive, across the board, be it Ugandans, Tanzanians, or Ethiopians. They pose very strong competition to the Kenyans, and that's what it's all about.
And it's yet again a good reality check that things haven't been quite like they used to be, with the likes of El Bakali and Lamecha Girma from Ethiopia coming in so strong to dominate the event. But it's still early season. Here's a confirmation of the results. Gamechu Godana, 8:14.55. Simon Kiprop Koech, 8:15.71. And in third and fourth place, Leonard and Amos Serem and Edmund Serem. Amos Serem running, finishing the race in a time of 8:54.45, which is not too bad considering that he's coming back from injury. And we're back to the long jump. Tiona Tobias. Tiona Tobias with her fourth attempt. She's currently in second position behind Martha Koala. And she's good on the board. her fourth jump. And it looks like she cleared her fourth jump, the distance of 6.49 meters, still in second position behind Martine Koala of Burkina Faso. Esra Owais is now warming up. She fouled in her first 2 attempts. And this is now her 5th attempt.
France, this is attempt number 6 for her. 5.67.
We're going to have to wait and see if she was good on the board. Indeed,
yes,
she was.
Yeah, with plenty of inches on the board to spare.
And in her 5th attempt, from our CIS system, it says she jumped 6.47, putting her solidly yet again in 3rd position. And it looks like she's been warming up sufficiently as the competition has been going.
Yes, the Burundian has been excellent today in these jumps. Jumping, many solid attempts there, maintaining her lead there in this women's long jump.
Martine Koala from Burkina Faso.
Yes, enough inches there on the board. Yeah, so she's quite pleased with that effort. Still on the lead. Back to the track with the women's 200 meters. And this should be another exciting event here with the world champion, Olympic champion Gabby Thomas lined up against the rest of the world here. Another amazing entrance experience here in Nairobi as the Warriors let out the athletes onto the track.
Renaya Jones representing the USA.
Jessica Wright coming in there.
Shane Wansbury from South Africa. Millicent Doro from Kenya. Ashley Miller from Zimbabwe. Cambria Sturgis from the United States of America. Olympic champion Gabrielle Thomas.
Yes, doubling in the women's 200 meters here. A couple of these Americans, I guess, lining up again here in their second event, in the women's 200 meters.
And also very brave of Millicent Doro to double again.
That's right.
To double along with Cambria and Gabby Thomas.
Yes, and when the sprinters double, obviously their second event turns out to be better because they're warmed up sufficiently in the first one. But nonetheless, Gabby Thomas, the class of the field, former world champion, Olympic gold medalist here in the women's 200 meters.
And we have a couple of hurdlers working on the endurance in this race. Samba Maela from France is a 60-meter hurdle specialist, and she was a world indoor champion back in 2022, as well as a 100-meter hurdles Olympic silver medalist. And she'll be running 200 meters here today just to check her endurance.
So the athletes get on their blocks, lining up for 200 meters women.
Pardon me, looks like Samba Maela did not start.
Off they go. Gabby Thomas getting a great start here in the women's 200 meters. Flying past the 100 200 meters to go, flying by Cambria Sturgis. Sturgis and Gabby Thomas. Sturgis, but Gabby Thomas shows her strength. Coming through the last 50 meters. Thomas, Sturgis. What a fantastic race, 21:90. Amazing time here at Nairobi. But a wonderful competition with two Americans, Cambria Sturgis and Gabby Thomas, battling all the way to the finish, running a world-class time of 21:90. That is absolutely amazing for this track here.
And this is exactly the positioning that they had at the Addis Ababa Grand Prix. Gabriel Thomas has a personal best of 21.6, so she really had to work it because Sturgis was putting it to her.
Yes, she did not let her go at all. And Sturgis is a former NCAA champion in the universities in America, so she had the speed, and she knew her competition was coming in inside. Gabby Thomas, world champion, really pushing, but she ensured that she held on to her to the finish line and was rewarded with a time, a fantastic time, 21:89. That's absolutely wonderful. Sturgis is emotional about that, and she knows that's, you know, she absolutely had to run her best to beat Gabby Thomas. And the two Americans still on the field appreciating that world-class competition. But what a wonderful race that was.
Cambria Sturgis going for it because today she wanted to achieve a personal best, and she was very, very strong on the bend. And Gabriel Thomas had to work hard to catch up with her. But as we know, Gabriel Thomas has that top-end speed that's lethal. Three-time Olympic gold medalist Gabriel Thomas really had to go for it. Sturgis made her work for it. And indeed, at the end of the day, Gabriel Thomas is our new Kipkeino Classic 200-meter champion.
And she was ever so grateful for that competition with Sturgis, and Sturgis obviously making her work all the way to the end, and both rewarded with world-class times at this women's 200-meter run Kipkeino Classic.
And in third position, Millicent Doro, she runs a personal best 23.21. I think that might be the biggest story of the night. Millicent Doro running a PB of 23.21, and she manages to qualify for the Commonwealth Games because she achieves the qualifying standard. What a day for Millicent Doro. She's actually 40 years of age, and this is completely unexpected.
Yeah, that was a tremendous run by Ndoro, coming in third against a top-class field, you know, against the Americans, South Africans. But at her age, running that fast and qualifying for the Commonwealth Games is absolutely phenomenal. You know, great.
She's running like an outlier, basically, right?
Absolutely, and it just goes to show that the sprint segment here in Kenya is improving tremendously. You know, we've got champions like Omanyala, you know, competing against the best in the world. And in the women's, now Ndoro rising to the top, you know, finishing third here is absolutely amazing. And these are the results of the women's long jump. Maria Koala still leading, but Tiana Tobias, the American, taking her last jump here. Season's best of 6 meters 67. Can she get close to that here in Nairobi?
The women's long jump.
My last attempt here in this women's long jump. So far her best is 6 meters 49. She wants to take an attempt at that.
9 seconds so far.
She continues her warm-up, getting ready for that. Last jump. Tiana Tobias, American. 6:49 jump so far. Looking to improve that to move into the lead against Marte Koala, the Burundian, who's jumped 6 meters 77 centimeters at the lead at the moment. And here goes Tobias. She starts preparing for her jump. waiting for the noise to cool down to make her final attempt at the jump for the event for the evening. Tiana Tobias.
Tiana Tobias, very gifted heptathlete. And seems to be working on her long jump early this season.
I think she's going to have to cool off, dress up as she waits for her last attempt. Still much action happening, so she's decided to dress up a bit as she waits and warm down and waits for the last attempt. His focus goes to the Egyptian athlete, Owis, who's in third place right now. Trying to get some tips on where she should hit the board from the officials, explaining that she did actually she didn't foul the last time.
And to think, Martin, that we are meant to be moving to laser-measured boards.
Yes, that's the next step. You know, technology should be taking over, you know, sort of the...
But a lot of these athletes were rejecting it, a lot of these jumpers. Looks like a foul to me, actually.
Yes, it did, but yeah, you never know. But, you know, we'll move back to the...
And that, unfortunately, was her sixth attempt.
Yes.
So her highest jump at this point was her fifth jump, which is 6.47 meters.
As the officials continue to explain to her what exactly happened and how she took that jump.
And that just shows you the kind of passion that, you know, these athletes bring to a competition. And it's well within their right to ask for proof of any foul or disqualification.
Yes, as the crowd continue to get excited by the activities here, and we move on to the men's 800 meters on the track. What a strong field this is. As you know, the 800 meters is a Kenya stronghold. Wanyonyi, you know, winning both the world champion and the Olympic championships before.
As well as a Diamond League.
Certainly, yes, yeah. So we have some of the best athletes here in the world competing. Kibene, former champion of the Kipkeino Classic last year. 143 performer here, the 30-year-old. And in lane 7, Wycliffe Kinyamal, another strong performer here, 143. And Kelvin Lotti, who won the national championships, a 143 performer this season, is very, very strong. In lane 6, we've got Ben Mahdi, the Algerian, with Chemin Ingwen, the tall Kenyan, a 142 performer.
Ben Mahdi is a singular pacer.
And Ferguson Roti is one of the fastest and most accomplished runners here in this event, with Noah Kibet, the young athlete here, lined up together. Haingura, the Botswanan, a 144 performer this year, a 143.58 athlete from Botswana, coming from a strong tradition of 800-meter runners from that country, Southern African country, Botswana. Haingura. Mokite, another Botswana athlete, also lined up in lane 2. Ran in Addis last week. Drangida, the Ugandan, and Tadessa, the Ethiopian, in the inner lanes.
As well as Kenya's Alex Ngeno Kipngetich.
Yes, what a strong field this is, lined up for the men's 800 meters here in Nyayo Stadium for the Kipkeino Classic. The 800 meters usually proves to be one of the most exciting events at the Kipkeino Classic. Very, very competitive, featuring some of the top runners in the world here competing in Nairobi.
The Commonwealth Games qualifying standard is 147.19, which a lot of these athletes have managed to achieve, except for Ferguson Rotich and Nicholas Kebene. So they've got to run and run hard in this race.
Most definitely. I think these are top quality runners. They both run 143, 142 range, so they can definitely accomplish that qualifying time here. And this is set up to be a fast time with the pacemakers, you know, set to run close to 50 seconds for the first lap, following the blue lights, the wave lights system here. But big field, very, very competitive. As Ali Mahdi, the Algerian, hits the front of the pacemaker, following the blue lights, and the rest of the field following after him. Very experienced pacemaker, the Algerian in the front. As the rest of the Kenyans get closer to him. Kipkeino, second athlete there, a 143 performer and a former Kipkeino Classic champion last year.
Moketi Lethogonolo from Botswana had a knee issue in Addis Ababa, and so he told me that you know, he's looking to do a PB here. It's a very, very strong field, but really this is how to go about it.
49.57 for the first lap. The Algerian taking the athletes through in a very, very fast time. Kipkeino in close, Kinyamal in close in second, but as an athlete drops out there, very, very fast tempo at the front. Kipkeino in the lead, Kinyamal in second.
And we're poised for 144 time, and it's going to be a battle and a hard one at that. Nicolas Kipkeino,
Kevin Lotti moving into second, the national champion. Kevin Lotti taking the lead. Kipkeino in second. Lotti, the national champion, moving to the front. Really, really strong in the last 100 meters and pulls away. 5 meters ahead of the field. Lotti, Kevin Lotti, the national champion, pulling away a very fast time, winning this event. Kevin Lotti, 143.64. Very, very fast time by the national champion, Kevin Lotti.
Kevin Lotti, indeed, the national champion, reigning national champion, with a season's best of 145.04, now manages to lower it. And it was a stiff competition. Behind him, Alex Ngeno-Kipmetich coming from the back, looking like he had enough energy in reserve, paced himself through the first lap and began to kick at around the 200-meter mark.
That's right. Lotti and Kipmetich, you know, have been competing very well together earlier in the season. So this wasn't quite a surprise to see them up at the front, but Lotti put his foot down strongly in the last 100 meters as they go.
That's right. And it was still very, very fast. In fact, the pacer from Algeria, Ben Mahdi, had to struggle to position himself. Kipkeino really going for it, but it just wasn't enough today. Kevin Lotti, as Kinyamal and Kipkeino were tiring, Kevin Lotti gives it everything he's got, coming from the back to win this 800-meter race at the Kipkeino Classic 2026 edition. Noah Kibet also, World Indo 800-meter silver medalist back in 2022, finishing third.
Yes, 143.63 for Kevin Lotti. What a fantastic run that was. Showing his dominance in the last 100 meters over this strong field here. Very, very pleased with that.
Almost running about his personal best, because his personal best is 143.61. Kevin Lotti leaving everything on the track, followed by Alex Ngeno-Kipmetich with a time of 144.12. Noah Kibet ran sub 145 as well, with Biruk Tedase from Ethiopia. Ketabokhile Haingura is someone that we expected a better result from, but only manages fifth today with a time of 145.29.
Yeah, what a competitive 800 meters that was. But at the front, Lotti really showed his class, pulling away from the rest of the field and posting a very fast time in 143.63 to win that event.
And what a jam-packed Kipkeino Classic 2026 edition it has been. We've been very, very blessed, very lucky that the rains did not fall. And we have two more events on the track. Two more events left on the track, I'm sorry. And that's the 400-meter women, as well as the blue ribbon event, the 100-meter men's race.
Yeah, so far it's been a great competition with some exciting performances already here, but the best is yet to come with the next two events, the women's 400 meters and the men's 100 meters, which is much awaited.
Nicolas Kipkeino managing a season's best of 1:45.56 after leading for most of the race, finishing in 6th position.
Yes, and Ferguson Rotich, again in under 146 at 145.74. So the top stars, getting the season going. It's still a long way to go, so we'll still see the best of them further down the road.
And Ferguson Rotich is actually the oldest in the field at 36 years of age, and he just doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's, he has quite a lot of, experience and really wanting to make it happen, at the right time during the season. But nonetheless, it's always good to put in a good performance in any event, particularly this Kipkeino Classic here at home.
Daniel Rabber, the men's hammer throw with his 5th attempt. Oh, with his 2nd attempt, actually. He managed to foul. He fouled in his 2nd attempt, Daniel Rabber of Hungary. Misilvic of Czechia. Who's currently in 3rd position.
It's hard to tell if some of these throwers are excited by their throws. They show no emotion, so you can expect that most of the attempts they make aren't as good as they hope they could be. Otherwise, they'll be showing some smiles or be excited
and I
about
think the
that.
cultures that they come from,
that's right.
in those parts of Europe, you moderate your emotional expressions.
Unless they're absolutely out of this field.
Mikhailo Kokan of Ukraine with his 5th throw.
Such good techniques, these Ethiopians and North Americans. They get the technique absolutely spot on.
Kokan goes over 80 meters. Looks like his 5th throw was his best throw so far. 81.26 in his 5th attempt.
Yes, that moves him to 2nd place. The Ukrainian now looking around, putting up a smile. Yeah, he seems to be pleased with that effort. Yeah, now you can tell that was a great performance.
Olympic bronze medalist and 4th at the Tokyo World Championships. He was 2nd to Ethan Katzberg, this guy
yes.
from Canada, the 2024 edition.
Yes, and he's the top of the world. Ethan Katzberg, the Canadian, the young Canadian who loves to come to compete in Nairobi. I was speaking to him and he was like, yes, this is the absolute ideal space to come and throw and enjoy, the East African region here.
And as expected, Ethan Katzberg has already thrown a world lead in his 2nd attempt.
Yes, although this effort is quite strong, still over 80 meters. With an 82-meter performance in that last attempt. Ethan Katzberg. Yeah, he's pleased with that as well. 82 meters. The Canadian still in the lead. And his attempts here are done, and quite pleased with the experience here in Nairobi. As the fans continue to cheer the event, young and old, turning up to the Nyayo Stadium to experience some of the best athletes, watch the best athletes in the world competing. And here comes the women's 400 meters, which features some of the top, athletes around the world. from Europe to Kenya. There's some amazing athletes lined up here.
And down to Zimbabwe, Lenny Shida is representing Uganda in lane number 8, 2019 4x400 Africa Games bronze medalist. Mercy Chibet representing Kenya, 4x400 Africa Championships bronze medalist. Paris Peoples from USA, 4x400 World Indo champion. Mercy Adongo Okech, who's had a phenomenal season, national champion and defending champion as well, 5th in the World Indo Championships. Keandra Davis from the USA. Ashley Miller from Zimbabwe, who's doubled in this edition of the Kipkeino Classic. Typically a 100-meter hurdler. Astrid Edsgaard from Norway. Her father was born in Nairobi, but she's half Ugandan and half Norwegian. And Josephine Tomine Eriksen Ax from Norway. She was 6th in the 4x400 World Championships relay in Tokyo and is a national indoor champion.
Yeah, strong field here lined up for the women's 400 meters. Mercy Okech from Kenya, one of our stronger 400-meter runners, coming from a strong indoor season earlier and looking to bring on that form in the outdoor season. The Americans also lined up here, so it'll be very competitive in the middle lanes. There's some of the top athletes set out there in the middle lanes. Mercy Okech, one of the fastest ones in 50-60, running 50-60 so far at 50-14. Mercy Peoples, the races started very, very well. Okech, Peoples in the first 250 meters.
Mercy Okech, as the stagger and winds, is very, very much in the lead. She set the meeting record here last year in a time of 50.14, which was her personal best. And it really looks like she has no competition here tonight. Mercy Okech Adongo has had the season of her life, is in the form of her life, was 5th in the World Indo Championships, bronze medalist in Gwangju as well. Mercy Okech. Mercy Okech in an unofficial time of 50.18. It looked almost like she was about to dip below 50. Martin.
Mercy Okech, tremendous race here, winning over a quality field here, running a fantastic time of 50.18, showing her class, rising to the top of African 400-meter running here.
And Mercy Okech's story is very, very interesting. She was actually a football player and was noticed by a coach who goes by the name of Venom. Mercy Okech Adongo, former footballer, and came into the track and has had the wildest, most successful 400-meter career possible. And
so as the race started, Mercy Okech took over from 200 meters, pulling away for the rest of the competition. The Europeans, the Americans, putting 5 meters ahead of the rest of the field here, looking very strong all the way to end, approaching the sub-50 barrier, but missing it closely. Mercy Okech, clear winner over the women's 400 meters. Sorry, what a dominating performance by Kenya's top 400-meter runner there, Mercy Okech, the winner here at the Kipkeino Classic 400 meters, with Mercy Chibet, 2nd in Addis yesterday, 3rd here today. Tremendous performances by these young athletes. Okech, 50-17, Paris Peoples 51-06, 51-14 by Mercy Chibet, setting a personal best. The top 3. What a competitive race there in the women's 400 meters.
What a fantastic performance by the Kenyan women to really just take a 1st and 3rd position in such a very, very competitive event with a strong international field. The crowd
continues to get excited here in Nairobi for the last event, the men's 100 meters. What an exciting event we're looking forward to. The men's 100 meters. We'll close off the races here in Nairobi. But what an exciting event it's been so far as we go back to the cage, the hammer cage, to get the last throws in the field events.
Miss Livchik of Chechnya, Vladimir. his sixth and final throw. And he doesn't manage to make it past 80 meters. So it looks like his fifth throw will be his best one at 81.26 meters.
What an exciting hammer throw that's been nonetheless, with Ethan Katzberg, the Canadian, rising to the top once again in the men's hammer throw here in Nairobi. Finally, a smile from the Czech thrower. Happy that he's done for the day, for the evening.
Those rare smiles, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So Vladimir Myslivchik from Czechia.
And the noise levels rise once again here at the Nyayo Stadium. Everyone's really excited at the pre-race men's pre-race 100-meter walkout. The athletes take their walks. Going back to the
hammer
the last throws of the men's hammer.
Ethan Katzberg and Mikhailo Kokin of Ukraine seeming to like warm up and just get ready for their sixth and final throws. And this is actually live. This is happening right now. And indeed, there's a lot more noise in the stadium, but for athletes such as Kokan, you know how to focus and just stick to what needs to get accomplished at this time. He's in second position at this time. His fifth throw was his best one, 81.26. He'd have to throw past 82.43 meters to then now take the victory from Ethan Katzberg. Mikhailo Kokan of Ukraine with his sixth and final throw. And it doesn't look to be a throw that's above 80 meters. So his final result for this competition will be 81.26. Ethan Katzberg at this point has been guaranteed of a victory. His second throw was 82.43 meters, which is a new world lead. He also holds the meeting record, 84.38 meters. Will he be able to break it? This is his sixth and final attempt in the hammer throw cage.
This will be headed to our final event of the day.
Ethan Katzberg. Yes, he seems very, very, very excited about that. Well over 80 meters. Ethan Katzberg has already achieved the world lead with his second throw. And the sixth throw came short. That was 82.13. 82.13 meters was Ethan Katzberg's sixth and final throw. So his second throw, 82.43, is the best. Yet again, a world lead. But for today, the meeting record, his own meeting record, remains untouched.
Yes, Katzberg is, again, the quality of the event winning once more in this event. As we look at the results of the long jump, Burundi's Marte Koala winning in 6.77 meters, Tiana Tobias in second, and Estras Owis, the Egyptian, in third in 6 meters 47. Crowd here at the Nyayo Stadium, very, very excited, watching some amazing world-class competitions so far, but waiting for the last one, the men's 100 meters with Ferdinando Manyala, the spotlight again in this Kipkeino Classic, an event that has really brought out some of the best talent, you know, in the world from the Kenyans and East Africans. Now the hammer throw results.
Here's a confirmation of the hammer throw results. Ethan Katzberg throws a world lead 82.43 meters. Kokhan Mikhailo from Ukraine throws 81.26, and Vladimir Myslivchik from Czechia 77.71. We had 2 throwers today go beyond 80 meters. Totally world class.
Yes, indeed. What a world class performances early season here in Nairobi. Yeah, fans, young and old, turning up at the stadium to support, to watch world-class athletics here in Kenya. Sponsored by Absa. As you can see, red all round. The fans quite happy to turn up and watch world-class athletics here.
Indeed, the 100-meter men's final coming up.
Yes, what an exciting event it is, featuring some of the world's top stars, and of course Kenya's very best lined up here today in the men's 100 meters. Rivaldo Roberts from South Africa, season's best of 10.09. South African.
Rivaldo Roberts is a 2022 African Championships 4x100 silver medalist, and this is his first 100 meter of the season. He has a personal best of 10.09.
Mark Otieno, the Kenyan here, the 32-year-old, run 10.05 this season so far.
Mark Otieno, the Ambo, has a personal best of 10.05 and has a season's best of 10.27. He needs to shave up 200.
Sam Blakowski from the US, the third runner here.
Nakak, under 23 4x100 bronze medalist with a personal best of 10.05.
Jay Austin, the American, 9.99 performer here in Nairobi.
Personal best of 9.89 from back in 2023.
Aaron Brown from Canada, 33-year-old, strong competitor, 9.96 season best.
He ran a 9.96 personal best back in 2016 and has gone a legal sub-10 twice. He's a 2023 Kipkeino Classic 200-meter champion.
Gift Liotlela from South Africa.
He's a Tokyo World Championships number 5, as well as a South African national champion. Gift Liotlela might be Ferdinando Manyala's biggest competition tonight.
Brandon Hicklin, the American, 993 performer, the 27-year-old.
Brandon Hickling was a Guangzhou World Relay silver medalist in the 4x100.
Ferdinando Manyala, the Kenyan champion, the African record holder, 9.77, done in the Kipkeino Classic here.
And the crowd goes wild for the reigning Commonwealth champion, Ferdinand Manyala. He's managed to dip below 10 at the Addis Ababa Grand Prix a week ago. And this really is one of the reasons why most of these fans turned up today.
Yeah, most definitely. The African record holder, Commonwealth champion, getting back to form. Last week ran under 10 seconds in Addis Ababa, winning in 9.98 after a year where he struggled to break 10 seconds. So he's back on form and very excited to get back to the top of the world rankings again. Ferdinando Manyala, the 30-year-old, very, very experienced and ready to run fast as he normally does here in Nairobi at the Kipkeino Classic.
I mean, you'd say he normally does, but that was back in 2023. Only managing 5th place back in 2024 and 3rd place in 2025. And indeed, maybe his fortunes have changed because he's now returned back to his old coach, Coach Duncan Ayimba.
Nonetheless, this is not a one-man show. Sub 10 seconds is spread across the field, and so anything can happen between the South African Gift Leodlela, Aaron Brown, the Canadian, also very strong athletes here, but Ferdinand would want to make sure that that doesn't happen, winning here at home in his favorite event.
And we're going to be watching lanes 5, 6, and 7.
As they stand up, get ready for that. Maybe the noise.
That is a face of pressure.
Yes.
Ferdinand Omanyala actually went out and decided not to be coy. Said that he's looking for a world lead, just like old times.
Yes.
In this edition of the Kipkeino Classic.
Well, this event has been identified with Ferdinand Omanyala on the Kipkeino Classic. So this is where he made his name, and he takes the event very seriously, as he would like to perform well. Once again.
Roberts, Austin, Brown, Hickling, Omanyala, Leodlela, Blaskowski, Margotino Odhiambo, looking to make the Commonwealth Games qualifying standard of 10.25.
To get started, it's a false start. The athletes will be called back.
And this just tends to happen always at the Kipkeino Classic. And a big reason for that is the crowd noise.
Yes, the crowd
Many
noise.
fans just cannot contain their excitement at this time. And we absolutely need silence for the start of this 100 meters.
Absolutely, but nonetheless, the athletes need to learn to wait for the gun, not noise.
I mean, so here we're hoping that it's a faulty start and not a false start.
Indeed, yeah. Any movement from anyone? No, not really.
I saw small twitching, really.
Barely any, but nonetheless, let's wait in here and see if any athlete will be eliminated for a false start.
Gift Leodlela and Ferdinand Omanyala making their way back to the starting blocks. And the competition is really among these two men.
That's right. I mean, similarly, like last week in the Addis, there were 4 false starts. So you can understand how that can throw off athletes. Yeah.
It's a very, very high pressure situation.
Oh.
Red card for Gift Leodlela?
Oh no, yeah, so he'd be disappointed by that.
Oh gosh. That's terrible.
And he's had a very good season start.
He's in fantastic form.
Indeed, yeah, so he rightly has to be disappointed by that.
I mean, he could decide to run under protest.
Yeah, but I think he's step up nonetheless.
So there's that.
Well, the technology now in the starting blocks, it can get, can sense anything. So you can't blame the athlete.
But he decides that he will not be running.
So back to the blocks.
So Ferdinand Omanyala doesn't have Gift to his right to push him, but still just has to run a race for the finish. Very determined to make a comeback.
Yeah, just has to run his own race all the way to the finish.
But Blaskowski from the USA in lane number 7 also has a season best of 10.09.
Great start for everyone there. Omanyala gets very well and pushes to the field. Omanyala, 9.96. An improvement from last week again. Wonderful run by Ferdinand Omanyala, winning here in Nairobi once again. Getting the crowd excited. What a wonderful performance by Ferdinand Omanyala.
And his back, the king of Nairobi, runs another sub 10. This is what we're used to seeing from Ferdinand Omanyala, 9.96, even easing off at the finish line. And he's announcing that he is back. Fantastic. People speak about Omanyala running very fast at altitude and indeed running very fast at home. But that's the kind of thing that home support does for someone.
Certainly now, Ferdinand has had a great start. Took over in the middle stages of the race and pulled away to run 9:96, an improvement from last week in Addis where he run 9.98. So very pleased with that effort after that false start. But yeah, Ferdinando Manyala is back on his way to top class racing, winning here in Nairobi once again and getting the crowd all excited by that performance. The crowd are happy, but yeah, Ferdy, as we call him here, has done very, very well once again, beating a strong field despite that false start by Gifty Otlela, winning the 100 meters here at the Kipkeino Classic.
And very fitting, the Lion song playing for the Lion of Nairobi, Ferdinand Omanyala, announcing his return. He hasn't won this title for 2 years, but your boy is back. 9.96. Ferdinand Omanyala dips below sub 10. He really, really wanted this. It may not have been the world lead that he was going for, but 9.96 is not too shabby. And I guess, you know, when you have a coach and things are working, sometimes you don't interfere with that process. Ferdinand Omanyala.
Definitely. The crowd is going wild. Everybody's happy by the end of what a wonderful event it's been, with a big win by Ferdinando Manyala in the event 100 meters here at the Kipkeino Classic.
Another fantastic story. Mark Otieno Odhiambo has run 10.23, which is a season's best. And what that means is that he has qualified for the Commonwealth Games, with the Commonwealth Games qualifying standard being 10.25. That is how a crowd gets to charge you up. Home crowd advantage at its finest. Mark Otieno Odhiambo coming in 7th, but with a season's best of 10.23.
Yes, what an exciting race that was. 10.23 by the Kenyan to qualify, but the winner in the season's best, Ferdinando Manyala, running 9.96 to win the men's 100 meters over South Africans, Ethiopians, and Americans. What a tremendous run as he absorbs the appreciation of the crowd doing his victory lap. Omanyala, crowd favorite here, winning and celebrating here at the Nyayo Stadium. What a wonderful competition that was, as it was for the earlier events here at Nyayo Stadium. Some amazing performances. Gabby Thomas winning the double, Mercy Okech winning in a very fast time. The men's 1500 meters.
Ethan Katzberg throwing the world lead. Martha Koala jumping to victory. And of course, Cameron Rogers as well, with a fantastic victory in the hammer throw.
Yeah, it's been an amazing competition here in Nairobi, Kenya, the Kipkeino Classic. The 7th edition proved to be one of the more quality events of its history. But what an amazing day or evening it's been here in Nairobi, with great competitions from the sprints, the jumps, and the long distance events. Kipkeino Classic again has proved to be one of the more quality events in Africa, if not the world. You know, producing some amazing performances all around.
And thank you so much for joining us for the 7th edition of the Kipkeino Classic. I've been your commentator, Manya Nyamwea, alongside
Martin Kano. It's been a wonderful evening together. Look forward to the next event together. Thank you very much.
We'll see you again next year.
Definitely.
Be ready for this. And now we would like to have our delegates who are going to be making the presentation. Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, the Honorable Salim Furia. Athletics Kenya President, Lieutenant General Retired Jackson Tuwe. Chairman Absa Bank, Mohamed Nyaoga. CEO and MD of Absa Bank Kenya, Abdi Mohamed. World record holder, Beatrice Chebets. And the chair of the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund, that's SATSDEV, George Keithy. And we are ready to present to you our winning athletes of the 7th edition of the Absa Kipkeino Classic as they go collect their medals. And our winner, first, with a meeting record in the men's javelin from Sri Lanka, a distance of 89.28 meters, Rumesh Tarang Patirage. Ramesh Patirage, to make your way forward. And after Ramesh Patirage, please, let us all just wait for your turn to be called kindly. George, hold back. George Malala, please wait. That is Ramesh Patirage, winner of the men's javelin. You will be called by names or race winners, so kindly hold as you pick your winners. After Ramesh Matirage, who won the men's javelin. Next is George Malala, who won the men's shot put. And for winners, you can all get back onto them. Winner of the men's shot put, George Malala. And after that, we're going to have Kevin Chesang, winner of the 10,000 meters men. After Kevin Chesang, it will be Cameron Rogers, hammer throw women. After Cameron Rogers, Kipkeino Rotich, 400-meter hurdles men's winner. Kipkeino Rotich, get onto the podium, please. Kipkeino Rotich is on hold. 5,000 meters women's race winner, Diana Wanza. Get onto the podium. And the winner of the women's 3,000 meters steeplechase, Joyce B. Watts. And after Joyce B. Ward, we shall have the winner of the men's 5,000 meters, Cornelius Kemboy. After Cornelius Kemboy, Miriam Cherop, winner of the 1,500 meters women. Duma must give you a dance. Upende usipende. And after that presentation, can we have Amelie Uel? Amelie Uel giving us a new meeting record in the 400-meter hurdles. And the winner of the 100 meters, Gabby Thomas. 2 awards for Gabby Thomas. And also, where is Marta Koala, the winner of the women's long jump? Marta Koala. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, winner 1,500 meters. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, please. Emmanuel Wanyonyi, watu wanakutafuta. And after Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the hammer throw king, Ethan Katzberg. So Ethan Katzberg after Emmanuel Wanyonyi. Then 800 meters women, Nigist Getachew. Nigis Getachew, winner of the women's 800 meters. After Nigis Getachew, the winner of the men's 200 meters, Dambile, Seni Sipo Dambile. So Seni Sipo Dambile is going next on the stage. And after that, the men's 400 meters winner, Zakiti Nene. Dambile on stage, Cindy Gist, Dambile, Zakiti Nene, and after that the 3,000 meters steeplechase winner, Gemechu Godana. Gemechu Godana is heading to the stage, and after Gemechu Godana, the 200 meters women's winner, Gabby Thomas. Go for your double. Gabby Thomas will also pick her 200 meters winners trophy after Gemechu Godana. Gabby, you got your two? After Gemechu Godana, Kelvin Kimutai, 800 meters man. After Kelvin Kimutai, it's going to be Mercy Okech, the winner of the women's 400 meters. Mercy Okech, please. All right, Mercy Okech, winner 400 meters, please. Mercy Okech. Okay. Then we have the winner. There is Mercy Okech. And after Mercy Okech, the winner of the men's 100 meters. You're waiting for him. Fedi pose kidogo. Ferdinand! Ferdinand! Two back-to-back sub-10 performances by Ferdinand Omanyala, and that was in Addis Ababa last week and in Nairobi tonight. Very good start to the season. Beatrice Chebet, the world record holder in the 10,000, double Olympic and double world champion over the distance. Ferdinand Omanyala receiving his winner's trophy from Waziri Mvurya, and also there is the chairman of SASNEF, George Kithi. And you know how it goes. Anytime there is a celebration, it only means one thing. So we also have got principal secretaries from the State Department for Climate Change and Energy, and also Dr. Korir Singh also is with us, PS Foreign Affairs, CEO Absa Bank, Abdi Mohammed. So Ferdinand Omanyala, that one photo opportunity with them. And then after that, Fedi is up there, and let's get ready for some fireworks! It's a celebration of all our 22 winners at the Absa Kipkeino Classic 2026. A big celebration for you all. A big cheer to our athletes. A big cheer to yourselves. And yes, now the delegates are dignitaries. They can leave that. And are you ready to get some Iyani? Unataka Dodoma be? And definitely, and obviously, that photo is not complete without our legend, Dr. Kipkeino. He joins all the winning athletes. And there is that winning athlete. You can move forward. You can move forward, winning athlete slightly closer so that you can have a picture with our legend, Dr. Kipkeino. And that photo with the legend. This event is in his honor, the Kipkeino Classic 2026. All right, and now, put your dancing shoes on, spikes off, gloves off, because Don Jomaber, Yanni is in the house. So there are our delegates as they leave. Picture to delegates as they leave the stage. Our athletes, definitely. Iyani is taking over.
3. Juu sana sisi wa Kenya tunawe, weka medali yako juu, tunawe. Congratulations. Ni mkurugenzi mzalendo. Hey, oh Kenya. naipenda Kenya. Oh, ipeperushwe juu juu sana, bendera yetu Kenya ipeperushwe juu sana. Sisi wa Kenya tunawe ati tuna eza. Hey! Oh Kenya, naipenda Kenya. Oh, ipeperushwe juu sana, bendera yetu Kenya ipeperushwe juu sana. Sisi wa Kenya tunawe, sisi walevi na tunapenda kamnyweso, ati sisi ni walevi na tunapenda kamnyweso. Sound that tune. Kwa majina ni yale